What if I told you that simply opening a Visual Studio project could infect your system? No executable, no warning, just a normal project file. Hello everyone, this is me Ahmad Khan and welcome back to Cybersec Revolution. In today's video, we are diving into a fascinating and dangerous malware technique where attackers hide malicious code inside Visual Studio projects. Most developers trust project files, so I would like to show you the practical demonstration. Before diving into a practical demonstration, you can share Cybersec Revolution YouTube channel with your friends if they have interest in ethical hacking cybersecurity. You can also visit Cybersec Revolution shop if you are interested in your desired product. So let's dive into a practical demonstration. So I have downloaded repository from GitHub. Visual Studio project file, especially .cs project, can contain executable commands. So I will show this practically. Of course, I'm not going to execute this file, this project on my personal system. Of course, it can infect my system. We will see the behavior of code. We will explore each and every aspect. Also, we will be using VirusTotal in order to check its result, the hashes and sandbox result. So let's start it. You can see here, this is the project. It contains .cs proj, of course, as I said before, Visual Studio file, usually this one contains malicious code. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to just drag and drop the file and then let's see. If we will focus on target tag with name attribute pre-built before target pre-built event. This is quite interesting for us and it uses exec command. This is of course XML code that contains malicious command. The command contains encoding technique and as well as it uses encryption. Base 64 encryption is for my experience. We will be using artificial intelligence model in order to decode this, in order to view its clean, in order to view its plain text result. We'll see this later on. But first, what I'm going to do, I'm going to just copy this line of this piece of code. I will copy it since it's in coding form. I don't know. We will be using online decoder, XML decoder. So I will just, I'm using this decoder. I will just paste here and then I will click on decode and boom, this is quite interesting for us. And it uses PowerShell, .bit command, of course, bit file commands which contains such type of codes. So it set a path and temp directory. Of course, it uses that path, this particular path. It targets this path, and this particular path it creates a directory. Of course, mkdir. If you know about Linux, mkdir is used to create directory. So this is we can say it's one of the most important clues for malware. But of course, for now we are not sure. Still, we have to analyze it. Now, what I'm going to do, of course, I cannot decode this since it uses base 64. For this purpose, I'm going to use analyzer. So I will go back and then I will type cmd python analyze.py. And you can see here it asks for obfuscated code. What I'm going to do, I'm going to just copy this obfuscated code and let me copy it. So I will copy it and then I will paste here. Then I will hit the enter button. It will send upload to API to LLM and then it will analyze. And we have to wait for this. Meanwhile, what we are going to do, we have to further explore the encoded XML content, piece of code. So I will copy this piece of code since it's encoded XML code, it's not encrypted code. So I will just copy this, and then again I will use XML decoder, and I will paste here. And if I will click on decode, that's quite interesting, amazing. So you can see here it uses append operator in order to append data in this particular VBS file. Of course, usually malware developer target VBS file, of course, .bit file, .vbs file. You can see here, so if I will scroll down a little bit, you can see it creates ben.base64 in order to drop here decoded base64 in order to decode base64 payload. So if I will scroll down a little bit furthermore, and this command is quite interesting, and it's, of course, it uses PowerShell, and then it uses minus execution policy bypass flag, which used for to bypass the restriction, and then it uses 0, which is used for hidden window, no window, and then it uses false for async. Basically, this line of command malware developer or malware uses to execute PowerShell, to execute VBS payload via PowerShell hiddenly and silently, without no any pop-up, without no any console. Of course, this is the strongest clues which confirms this visual project contains malware, and it tries to execute VBS malware using PowerShell. So of course it targets, so if I will summarize the entire code, it targets temp folder in order to drop in order to append encoded payload, encoded base64 payload in a VBS file, and then it tries to execute that encoded payloads using PowerShell command, using stealthy feature, using stealthy commands, which is, of course, it's a multi-stager payload which uses multiple stages. Of course, this is a strongest clues which indicate this is malware, so it's confirmed. So furthermore, I have to wait still a little bit for this encoded for this encrypted code, but we will explore it further later on. For now, I'm going to use VirusTotal. So I will click on choose file, and then I will choose this particular file. I will try to upload it. I will click on open, and then let's see. And wow, quite astonishing. Almost all antivirus is successfully bypassed, and you can see here only 2 antivirus detects this particular file. And furthermore, you can see Microsoft Defender, even each and everything. I mean, all antiviruses, all major antiviruses successfully bypassed. And the last analysis date you can see 2 months ago, and its size you can see its hashes. But if I will click in detail, and you can see here it's MD5 hashes, SHA 256, and furthermore, if I will click on relation, and boom, you can see here this is the of course this is the repository zip file that contains this particular malware. And this is the file. Basically, you can see it's a relation which execute 2 prints. And if I will click on behavior, and it uses cap sandbox. So you can see it's metric, tactics, and techniques, and which type of files it opens using sandbox analysis. Of course, it tried to opens install that bit file, and you can see it opens some DLL files. So if I click on more, you can see all these things, the details. And of course, it tried to play with registry keys for persistent connection, you know very well. And then which type of processes, which processes it does create, and you can see here it uses this command cmd and r to execute cmd, and then it uses start, and then it wait for install that bit, and of course install that bit, install that bit. Shell command, you can see here it uses cmd and r to use this while using sandbox analysis. Process is terminated, you can see how it tried to terminate cmd and con host rexe. So this is using this is all about virus total analysis. If I click on community, of course no community command found. So finally we got the result. So if I will scroll up, I will do keep scrolling up. I will keep scrolling up, and you can see here analysis report style. You can see it says this multi-layer payload uses a common office caching technique employed by this loader. It invoke a byte array partial this decoding each layer. So you can see here, if we will scroll down, you can see it clean data. You can see the code. So we will just focus on interested code or command. So in fact you can see all these things, but in the layer 3 this is quite interested. So it uses this particular IP address where the payload has been successfully uploaded, and of course it tried to download from there. And you can see it's PowerShell command which is used for to download any particular file from a remote server. And then finally you can see the final payload in a single line of command. You can see this line of you can read about this. Use the web client object to download the content of specialized like this. And the fourth one is identify malicious actor invoke expression. Of course it uses invoke expression command, which is basically this is a cmd that is even used in malware. Of course if you have ever deal with malware development, probably you know about this invoke expression. In new web system.net web client, of course, which is basically used to deal with http or https server, I mean and are to deal with command and control server in simple words. And then of course it uses remote URL and to download the file. So that's all about the decoding of this particular encryption. So I hope you understand in this lecture how hacker can hack your system or target your system using Visual Studio Project. Thank you.